It is the morning breakfast time, so why not have breakfast? Rick Moses is here from Scramble Restaurant, 2 locations across the valley. Rick, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We've partnered with your restaurant to come up with a dish named after Morning Scramble, and when you go in and get that dish, you're actually supporting a great cause, which we will talk about in just a moment. But first, let's talk about how much money we've raised. So far, it's been nearly $1,000.
Yep, just under 1,000.
And describe the dish for me before we actually cook it.
Well, what we use, which is local, fresh Shriners chorizo, and then green chilies that are actually grown, I believe, in New Mexico or southern Arizona. I think it varies depending on the market. And then Hickman's eggs. And
perfect.
Cheddar cheese and some pico de gallo that we actually make in the restaurant ourselves.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but first let's talk about where the money's going, because this is going to ArizonaSearchDogs, and Adam Skyver is here with us. So this is a nonprofit, which many people may not realize. How does the nonprofit work?
The nonprofit, we're all Phoenix firefighters, but the nonprofit we kind of work and volunteer for, and they own all the dogs. All the dogs are live find dogs. They go out search and rescue in building collapses, earthquake situations. Where do you start digging for people? The dogs can go up, locate the people, and that's where we start to get the people out. The fire department comes in. We have one of those teams here in Arizona. It's a great resource for us. We can be deployed across the country.
Sure.
Our team was in 9/11, Hurricane Katrina. We can also be used here locally. We work with Phoenix PD and missing persons around the mountain parks in the area or in desert areas, even some neighborhood searches. So a great resource for us in town here.
We're looking at some video of the dogs in action. How long is the process to get them prepared to go out and help with these rescues?
It takes about 2 years to get the dog to the minimum amount we need them trained to pass there's a certification test. So it takes about 2 years to get them to that, about 1,000 hours a year. So a lot of training goes into it initially, and the training never ends. Haas here, he's 8 years old. He still is at training every week, brushing up on his skills there.
Yeah, let's take a look at Haas right here. Hi, Haas. Can you say hi to the camera? Okay, so you said that Haas is still in training.
Well, the training never ends. So
okay.
it takes about 2 years to pass the test to certify, to be able to deploy and work as a search dog. But we always are making them better, and there's always more training.
Obviously, it takes money to help you stay in business and help dogs like Haas be prepared to help in these situations. So let's get back to Rick for just a moment. So you have 2 locations, as I mentioned, and one of the things I love about your restaurant is you have a patio for dogs to actually go and have breakfast with their owners.
Absolutely. Dog-friendly patio at both locations, and it's a very popular place for people to bring their pets.
And speaking of popular, this dish has been so popular, you're actually going to keep it on the menu.
We are. It is one of our most popular items.
Let's take a look at that, because as you mentioned, it's pretty easy to do at home if for some reason you can't get into the restaurant this morning, but you obviously want to get there at some point because the money does help AZTV. So I want to talk quickly about your cooking class, because I understand they were very popular for the youth and you're bringing them back.
Yes, we are. We like to do them. We do 4 a year, 1 every quarter, and this year our first one will be March 23rd, sponsored by Hickman's Eggs. And last year when we worked with them, I did things like eggs in a hole and showed them how to poach an egg.
That's
and
great.
all kinds of fun little things. So all the little future chefs, they love it.
And what I love about your classes too for these 6 to 16-year-olds is that they also get to meet the food producers, like for example Hickman's Eggs.
Yes, Charmin Hickman will come in and she'll give them a little chat, and sometimes she shows them a little, fun kids video that they can watch, and then we get down to business, and they always enjoy it. It's always a good time for them and their parents to come.
I think it's pretty important that they understand where the food comes from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so real quickly before we go, remind people where they can find Scramble.
Scramble Scottsdale is on the northwest corner of Scottsdale Road and Lincoln, and the original location is at the corner of Hatcher, and it's just under North Mountain off of 7th Street.
And by the way, Haas, named after Bonanza, is a very big fan of chorizo, so he's anxious to nibble on the food here. Real quickly, remind folks where they can find out more about ArizonaSearchDogs.
You can go to AZTeachDogs.com, and all our information's on there.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. We appreciate it, and I think that gives us just enough time to have breakfast, Pat. We'll be back. We're going to learn how to buy a car without the hassle right after this.